Peace and welcome to World War Wrestling. I got banned on a forum recently, and I don't know why, so please unban me because I don't know what I did. I thought we were all having a great time. I thought we were all laughing. Honestly, I plugged my podcast and I tried plugging my books, so I think soliciting might have been the reason why, but that's not a good reason to ban me. Okay. I think it was just jealousy. But everyone says that when they're an asshole, don't they? Don't they just make it seem like it's jealousy? Well, welcome to World War Wrestling. We're gonna do NXT versus TNA, Total Nonstop Action today versus I don't know what NXT stands for. Next Extra Talent. Okay, LWO versus Trick Mellow Gang. I think this is the best match I've ever seen. Joaquin and Oscar Wilde. Joaquin Phoenix and Oscar Wilde, right? I don't know. Those two guys in LWO. Best match I've ever seen them in. Most competitive I have seen them in. The most convincing I've ever seen them in. A majority of this match, I thought that LWO was going to take it and Trick and Mellow Gang were going to break up. Apparently, Trick and Mellow Gang are going to break up later down, probably after the main event of the Dusty. Is that we're going to see the divide between Trick and Mellow Gang right before Ilya Dragunov so that Mellow can interrupt during Trick and Ilya because I don't believe that I don't think Carmelo Hayes has ever beat Ilya. So, predictions. And that goes directly against the opening match of TNA. My predictions is that TNA is probably going to take this because TNA seems really stacked tonight. Nick Nemeth versus Trey Miguel. I was actually just talking about this match last week. If it was Miguel versus Wentz instead of Wentz, I would have been more into the match, and I definitely was. But the difficulty here is Trick and Mellow Gang won against LWO. Nick Nemeth beat Trey Miguel. So I got to give the point to NXT. It's not that Nick Nemeth didn't have it. Steve Macklin coming in at the end was pretty cool, I guess. But then Nemeth should be in a feud with Steve Macklin directly, not this interruptions behind the match bullshit. Apparently, the design is dead, and Diener had a losing effort tonight to prove that. I think he lost to PCO, if I'm correct. If he pulled out the victory against PCO, then I guess the design isn't that dead, so he had to have lost. And that is with Obafemi coming out and completely squashing the LWO. Just crushing Dragon Lee, crushing everybody. So, one more time, the point goes to NXT. Ava, Daddy's Little Girl, with I believe Rich Holland, and then Lexis King comes in, and that's its own whatever thing that goes on, and then they wrestle, and then Lexis King loses, and I genuinely don't know what match Lexis King has won since he's come in here, but Decay in a tag match definitely beats The Rock's daughter being the new general manager of NXT instead of Shawn Michaels or CM Punk, which she just straight up just does not freaking deserve it whatsoever. Like, I do not know what you have to do to be a general manager, but this is like the 22-year-old chick with an attitude from college being the supervisor of like a 50 or 60-year-old woman. It's just insulting to the ego. It's just insulting to have to deal with. Lexus and Ridge had a match, but MK Ultra had a promo in a match against Jody Threat and some other woman that I don't know. Anything with MK Ultra beats anything with Rich Holland and Lexus King. I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry. It's just that Lexus is not winning anything, and it's not that he's not having somewhat competitive matches. He's honestly being punished for his disloyalty to AEW. To be completely, they can't trust him. He had no reason to leave AEW. He wasn't over in AEW. There's no reason to believe that you were going to come to WWE and do better things on NXT of all places than you were at freaking AEW. Maybe he's getting trained better at NXT and hopefully so then later down the road, I don't know how old the guy is, later down the road he can make a name for himself. But it's not coming anytime soon. And it's kind of disappointing, honestly, because he's a Virgo. Tatum Paxley versus Roxanne Perez. Very good match, actually. Alan Angels had Josh Alexander on his show. After begging Josh Alexander to be on his show, Alan Angels disrespects Josh Alexander, which seemed very, very like sociopathic. So I'm gonna have to push that back over to NXT because I just don't really like anything that went on with Alan Angels. Like he's just kind of like I don't know. It's kind of part of the cause of that one faction in AEW dying out. Everyone just kind of left and did their own thing. But Alan Angels didn't really have a reason to leave and do his own thing. Vance might have, but Vance, all he had to do was take the mask off and show his face, and he would have got over. It's just the world is better without the Dark Order, but is it really? Electra Lopez versus Lola Vice. This was a great match. Maybe for different reasons, for different people. But I remember when Shayna Baszler was first, when Ronda Rousey came in, Shayna Baszler was first putting over Ronda Rousey, and then Ronda Rousey put over Shayna Baszler. Um, Lola Vice is a legit MMA fighter. Electra Lopez is a legit superstar. So the MMA fighter was definitely going to win, no matter how much bigger Electra Lopez is. They're roughly the same size, to be honest with you. Electra Lopez, when I was watching this match, just doesn't seem to have a very strong personality. She seems like a follower. She's always in a group. She's always very quiet in the group, or she tries to do these sassy one-liners that don't land. And I'm kind of glad she got kicked in the face. I wish this was Lola Vice versus what's her name? The girl that needs to lose some weight. Not because she's not attractive, but because she keeps getting injured because of her size. Nikita Lyons. I wish this was Nikita Lyons versus Lola Vice, because then it would have been a pretty good competitive back and forth. This is going up against Brian Myers versus Kevin Knight. No, I'm sorry. That Brian Myers Kevin Knight match was real. They went to the mile. They really fought the whole time, and Brian Myers actually pulled out the victory. Kevin Knight needs to lose the glasses. I know he has a very average looking face, but he's a handsome enough guy that he can just come to the ring wearing his actual face, and it would probably be far more effective. Five, six, seven. Gacy and Dijak have a promo. Promo leads up to a match that they're going to have. I don't believe that they had the match already, but I believe they're going to have the match soon. And that is with the Mustafa and Sabin promo, which was a work of art. These were both masterful, but I think it's far more masterful because Mustafa Ali was just on NXT, and now he's gone. Now he's doing his own thing in TNA. If he would have popped up doing this on AEW, it would have been the biggest thing in the world. So doing it on TNA, for me, it's still pretty damn big. But the Gacy and Dijak promo, I would give this to Mustafa and Sabin if only, if only. Gacy did not pre-record that creepy ass letter and message on Dijak's answering machine. That little touch right there, it seemed like some serious like Lucha Underground vibes with like Marty the Moth or something. Like that was so uncomfortable and so creepy and so just uncomfortable in every single way, shape, or form. You know, I have to give the point over to NXT for that alone. But this is where we get to the end of things, and this is where we get to the real difference between TNA and WWE. Is WWE is talky, 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 talky. A lot of this stuff was a talky, talky, talky before they got into the fighting, and then the fighting sucked. Even the Electro Vice match was like talky, talky for weeks and weeks until it sucked, and it just wasn't all that competitive whatsoever. That best of three match, that first match of the best of three, with the grizzled young vet picking up a win over ABC. First off, I didn't expect it. Second of all, it was a super competitive match. I would watch these guys wrestle every week for a year. The way that they wrestle and compete with each other, it's like, come on, man. Come on now. We're here for wrestling, aren't we? One, two, three, four. Four for TNA. And I think that was my prediction, was that they were going to win out. We got one, two, three. Whoa, what? One, two, three, four for NXT. Okay. Wow. Buzzer beater. Uh, or is it? Or is it? Or is it? Because I believe TNA pulled one more rabbit out of its hat, if I'm not mistaken. Just like Gacy left the answering machine message on Dijak's whatever, you know, TNA also slipped in a little bit of something in there too. Did you not notice Alex Shelley dressed up like John Wick, directly confronting the system, directly confronting a 1v4 situation and saying, "You four against me? I'm not worried about that. Let's do it. You want to do it right here?" TNA took the victory with that. That's one extra point. That's one extra segment right there. They ain't got nothing to compete with that with. And I can't wait to see the resolution to that because they walked off like some little bitches after that. For real. They walked off like they were scared. You know, that video on freaking TikTok or Instagram where that little dog barking, 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 then the big dog probably finally stands up and looks right at him. And he's like, ooh, rrr. That's how they walked off like some little bitches. You know, the fact that Alex Shelley can't wait to get his rematch, the fact that Alex Shelley thinks that he can beat Moose, it really makes me want to see the match even more because I expected him to have beat Moose because I expected him to use more of his grounding, technical jiu-jitsu ability to more of his holds and submission wrestling, but it makes for better TV that he's trying to. Alex Shelley is better as the underdog than he is as the overconfident heel who knows he can beat any and everybody. But any and everybody on certain nights, any and everybody in certain holds, certain places. You know, TNA takes the victory 5-4, but it was a very close buzzer beater for a second. If I did not remember that Alex Shelley, Alex Wick, you know, you know, John Shelley just stepped up to Moose like he just walked into prison his first day. All respects to Alex Shelley for that. And all respects that this is World War Wrestling. Peace out.